He's not top 10 in anyone's book. Might not be top 20.
So them little green lights that we see going up in the air, that's war?
Wow, Wiz Khalifa's number 5. That's crazy.
45 million, bro. 45 million in 2000. I haven't not heard of Wiz. When's the last time you heard a Wiz Khalifa song on the radio?
Man, that's phenomenal. I was terrible at my jobs back then, but I had to work for some cash to cop academics hoodies.
Perfect.
DJ Playboy.
What's good, Josh? Your man DJ Playboy back with another episode of the Perfect Talk podcast, and I do no episode, not any, without my dog, my man, my partner.
Girl, scream like I'm Keith.
What it do, brethren?
I'm doing great, brother. What it is? How you feeling?
Yeah, I can't complain. I can't call it, bro. Life is good. You know what I mean? Life is in a good place. Everything's flowing. You know what I mean? I'm finally getting used to this new work schedule I've been on, the Monday through Friday joint that I've wanted to get on for so long. And it really do make you look forward to the weekend, dog. It really, like, I was living backwards before, bro. It was crazy. I was like, Friday was my Monday. So everyone be hyped for the weekend, and I'm like hating life. So it really is. It's in a good space to be like, yo, Friday come. You don't even want to do work when you go to work. You like, it's Friday, nigga. What you asking me to do shit for? Like,
yeah, man. That feel. I know the feeling coming off of a job where I work the weekend, and then like Wednesday and Thursday is like your weekend. And it's like, you know, it's kind of cool because you're the first in line at the bank. And shit, nobody goes to banks no more. At that time, it meant something, right? There was no line at the supermarket. Like every line is the express line. Nobody goes to supermarkets no more. And then like, it was awesome. Laundromat was all clear and shit. But then the weekend coming, everybody's like, yo, it's about to be crazy. And I'm like, they like, what you doing? I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be at work. And then I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna go to work again. So I catch y'all like in a big holiday or something.
I'll be the one liking all your posts.
Word.
Nah, it was a rough lifestyle, man. I'm happy, you know what I mean, where I'm at right now. Like, it's good, and even if you ain't got shit planned for the weekend, you still look forward to it. So it's dope. But the week be kicking my ass. Like, I'll be like, yo, by Wednesday, Thursday, like, yo, because I'm waking up with the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm waking up with her, getting her to school, and then I'm off to it, and then, you know what I mean, like, the end of the day, you get out of work, you gotta pick her up, and then you gotta, like, I'm trying to fit a workout in. I'm trying to do podcast work. I'm trying to do, you know, the radio show work, and it's a lot, you know what I mean? It builds up, so you really gotta have that balance.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the weekend keeps you, because you have to do that stuff anyway, but it's like the weekend, it gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah, a carrot, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the stick to like go towards. But shit, man, like, what else is new, brother? What's good on your end? What's new with you?
Yeah, everything is cool, man. Like actually, so I started talking to a therapist or whatever, right? My job, I got this benefit.
Okay.
And it's just real quick, like it reminded me, just as far as looking forward to the weekend. The therapist is talking to me about scheduling sex and with your spouse, not with my therapist. And and she was just talking about how strange it could be, but she said there's something to be said about like the allure of Christmas. Like, you know it's coming, but it's like you still get pumped about it. So like, because the thought or the concept of it, it's kind of like, well, you know, how are you going to schedule something that's supposed to be carnal and spontaneous, but you could still make it that way? So it's just that aspect of, oh, well, the weekend's coming and getting pumped for it just reminds me of that. But other than that, though, everything's straight on my end, man. I'm just chilling.
Yeah. No, it's, that's funny you say that, too, because it's like, yeah, when you have something to look forward to, like planning vacations, right? You be like, yeah, you know, in a couple months, I'll deal with this bullshit now because I'm being... You know what I'm saying? Miami. I'm going to be in St. Thomas in a couple months. So you happy for that? Yeah. Nah, that's funny too. Like, I used to do that at my my old job, which was like when I was doing the physical labor part of it. I'd get myself through the shift like, yo, I'm buying something with this next check. I don't even know what that something is, but I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm making it worth it. I'm not dealing with this not to get no payoff from it. You know what I mean? And it always was like, the carrot, like I said, there's always something like a goal at the end of the thing, and it got me through it. It got me to not be you know what I mean? Because it was a physical labor job you had to perform. If you didn't perform at a certain level, you got fired, you know what I mean? So it definitely kept me inspired.
Right.
Like, nah, fuck that. We getting some sneakers at the end of the week, or we getting something like that. But yeah, and it's actually really good to now, like to this point now, because whenever I do want to like set my goals towards some type of material thing like that, it's like, all right, yo, grind mode, you know what I'm saying? Turn it on, like, all right, we might have to do some more deliveries, or we might have to try to get a gig, or we might have to, you know what I mean? Like, it's hustle time, but now I got this target to look towards. So it's like, I even use that like financially for stuff, like to target myself to just have that tunnel vision. Like, nah, we going towards that right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, but in other news, man, shit been crazy. Dominating the news cycle this past couple of weeks has been this Russia versus Ukraine controversy.
I thought you were gonna say Kanye and Pete Davidson.
That was Russia took the shine away from Kanye and Pete. Like, Kanye's still trying, but we'll get to Kanye and Pete in a little bit. But yeah, no, the Russia shit was crazy because you heard the whispers, you heard the rumors, you've seen where the direction it was going. And I don't know if Zelensky, I think that's his name, the president of Ukraine, if he just didn't take it serious or what he thought, but Putin was not with the shits, bro. He was like, yo, we coming through and we doing this. We don't care who's stopping us. And I don't know. What do you think about it? Like, is this? I had this thought, and I thought it was a profound thought, but then I realized it's probably not. I was like, yo, this is the first war fought on social media, right? Because, well, started on social media, kind of like you can see the beginnings of it. You can see everything from the jump, because there wasn't Instagram when the Afghanistan, you know what I'm saying, war took off. Even when we went to Iraq, I don't even think social media was big, or I don't remember seeing too much from it, you know what I mean? Definitely on television, you know what I mean? And I think that's with every war, right? Like, as technology improves, every war is a bit more visual. Like, when we was kids, I remember they was like, yo, we at war with Iraq, and I was like, so them little green lights that we see going up in the air, that's war? Like, it was like a black screen, night vision with green lights going up in there. I'm like, what are we looking at here? I don't even know what it is.
Well, that's funny. I thought that's what war was. I'm like, oh, this ain't too bad, which was crazy, right? that you mentioned it back in the 90s, just the black screen, like you said. Like, it would be like, whoever's voice, Tom Brokaw's voice, and he's like, yeah, and you see, so it's going crazy down there. And it's just looking like fucking Atari.
These niggas playing Pong. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this shit don't look too crazy. But yeah, but now you seeing bodies, you know what I'm saying? You seeing the carnage, you seeing the building blow up, then you seeing them go into the building afterwards and what the shit looked like after that. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it definitely puts war up close and personal in your face. And I guess what was your thoughts on so far on being able to see what we've seen so far? Is Putin justified in what he's doing? I guess because, like, from what I heard, NATO violated, right? NATO said we ain't gonna try to recruit nobody, you know what I'm saying, in that Eastern Bloc over there, and then lo and behold, we just started recruiting more people. So it's like Putin, like, a word, y'all want to violate, we gonna violate.
Is he justified? I don't think so. I wonder.
He's like, I'm not making that Donald Trump take, man. I ain't saying that Donald Trump shit.
Yeah, imagine me saying on a recording, oh yeah, Putin, he got a point. Nah, I can't say that, invading some sovereign nation. Oh wow, saying that one dude from a large, a country with a large military or developed military, invading some other country that it's a smaller country who's that's sovereign and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. I can't say that's right, and I don't know enough about the politics to say who has the right to which country to go over which border and stuff. Putin went into that country just because he can. I mean, now that they're defending them, they're defending themselves, but they still made it past the border. So yeah. I can't call it how that's going to turn out, because I know a lot of countries, the UN, the United States, they don't want to actually put boots on the ground to help them out in that fight. I know that they're sending weapons and resources, but we'll see how far that goes. But it's geopolitical stuff is crazy, man. Like, stuff like this could happen all the time. We're here in our democracy. We're very much in touch with our Western culture. This democracy stuff, but like dictatorships, like we look at them like that's not the way to live life, but those countries, that's all they know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, to them it might be like who are the Westerners to say, oh, how should life and government be
Out here.
conducted?
Yeah.
Right, but I do know that according to a lot of the podcasts and news clips and all that stuff, even people over there are like, nah, this is like pretty crazy, like just regular old citizens.
Yeah, I hear they're similar to us, you know what I'm saying? In terms of what the Ukraine is, like it's not like, you know, some third world country, I guess, with the what the stereotypical view of that would be. Like they got, you know what I'm saying, fly hotels, they got Porsche dealerships, they got, you know what I'm saying, like restaurants, they got culture, you know, you got, you know what I'm saying. And I mean, unfortunately I had to learn that through people being very racist in the media and how they explained, but like that was crazy, right? Did you seen some of those reportings from the European people that I don't even think realized they were being racist by what they were saying? I mean, but their standpoint of it was more so, these aren't brown people that are being bombed that should be used to this type of thing. These are blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. And obviously some of that is Russia propaganda. Because we're seeing propaganda from both sides, right? We're seeing the Russia can't be like, yo, this is a peacekeeping mission, so they can't make themselves go in there and look crazy shooting shit up. So what can they do? They take the little media facts, they take little things that they could do, and I think that was definitely Russia propaganda being put out there on how like racist that the media was being out there. Also seen something else about how like Russia's like, yo, there was mad airstrikes, the mad airstrikes in the past like a month, and y'all seem to be very upset about just this one. Like all wars is bad, you know what I'm saying, type of thing, because what else could they say? And on the Ukraine side, you're seeing like these motherfuckers looking like motherfucking Captain America, right? Everybody fucking being heroic, everybody being like, yo, let's do this, let's stand up to them and fight. And I'm sure a lot of them motherfuckers, 18 or 16, was trying to get the fuck out of there. It was like, yo, I'm not with you.
That's what I was wondering. I thought about that aspect of it, because I think they're conscribing, like they're making pretty much fighting age. All right, I'll put that in quotes. Fighting age men stay, like they can't leave. Women and children could go freely, and anyone who's outside of that 18 to 60-ish range.
Yeah.
But for right now, that heroic, the president of Ukraine is making a stand.
Dropping videos in the street and shit.
Right. At least liberal American society tends to pick apart others' errors or whatever. So I wonder at what point they're going to look at that and be like, well, he should let them flee as they wish or whatever.
You feel like that might turn into like negative media towards like Zelensky for making those men stay there that really don't want to?
I think it will,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it'll be like after this is done, they look back like, yeah, this is the draft. When will the draft come to the United States? Or, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, because they're not trained soldiers. These dudes, they're just regular civilians. They're like, yo, we'll give you weapons, but you got to weaponize. That's
right. Because they have weapons. Because especially between weapons they already had and some of the weapons they're getting from, whether it's Germany or the United States, they have weapons. So now people who are operating those weapons, I guess maybe they give them a quick crash course in this stuff. But the fact that they had to stay, I'm sure that kind of thing is up for debate. Yeah. At least in Western society.
No, you're 100% right. Yeah, and it's tragic, man, because you hear about civilians getting caught up in it too, like that have nothing to do with the fight, that have nothing. They're getting bombed, they're getting hit with that shit too, man. War is whack, bro. In any state of the you know what I'm saying, like anything, people are dying, people fighting for shit they don't want to have to fight for. That shit is corny, bro. And it's like, it sucks, man. It sucks that we have to. It sucks too, because there's two sides of it, right? Like you're like, damn, we watching people die, you know what I'm saying? And like it sucks, but then it's also like, yo, we can't get caught up in that. Like we're a recovering country right now, right? From trying to recover from what the pandemic's done, trying to recover from the state of inflation, trying to recover from what this shit alone is doing to the economy, right? Like raising gas prices are probably gonna slow supply chain, you know what I mean? So it's just like, we ain't trying to get caught up in it, but then we also got, there's people that got family over here. And I think the real shitty part is the people in Russia that really don't even want to fight this war, really don't even care about it. They can't use their Apple Pay. You know what I'm saying? They can't use their visas. They can't go to the bank. They rubles ain't worth shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is nuts, bro. Like, it's like, yo, they was like, they got family in the Ukraine. Like, that was the Soviet Union, right? If I'm not mistaken, that was part of what broke off. So, you know what I'm saying? They probably got peoples out there, and it's like, yo, like, we ain't trying to, like, you know what I mean? For what? All this corny shit. The oligarchs, what, 80 billion that they losing, yachts being seized, you know what I'm saying? Crazy shit going down. And it's like, yo, you fucking up the money. I heard something like motherfuckers put a hit out on Putin. I don't know how true that. Yeah, one of them oligarchs. I was like, yo, like that, bro, you losing money every day. Like, and then I heard something, because the move would have been, right, this was a perfect commercial for crypto, because all those people in the Ukraine trying to run, you know what I'm saying, but they can't get their money, the banks, you know what I'm saying, and then all those people in Russia, they trying to get their money, but now the money ain't worth nothing, the money da-da-da. So it's like a lot of people was switching their money up to crypto, like just putting it into crypto. And I seen something like the EU, they trying to put ways to block them from doing that in Russia now too. And I'm like, yo, that's nuts, bro.
That's crazy. And then on top of all that, then it's the racism aspect where people trying to flee Ukraine, you know, they all gathering at like train stations and stuff trying to get into Poland or Romania. And then so they have black people there, and they're like, nah, darky, you get in the back. This is war, but we ain't. You better know what this is still.
So ain't shit changed.
There's that aspect of it too.
Yeah. I seen some stories about that. That's crazy too, bro. Yo, but I mean, that ain't like, right? Like Europe, their racism is coming out. Like, I mean, but it ain't surprising. They're the originals. Right. It's like we started this gangster shit.
Yeah.
Oh man,
basically,
like, definitely our prayers with everybody involved in this situation, because like I said, war is whack everywhere. Hopefully it ends quick, you know what I'm saying, because it ain't doing any favors for the world. We have fucking anxiety high every day because you don't know what Putin's doing with the nuclear fucking codes he got out there. They saying he targeted the nuclear power plant in the Ukraine the other day. That shit was on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And like the Ukraine president like, yo, y'all better turn up for this shit turn a nuclear holocaust, bro. And everybody acting like they don't hear him. And they're like, all right, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We'll send you some shit. we'll send some money. We ain't sending no people though. Like, and that's whack. That shit is corny. But war itself is whack, man. But we got to move on to other stuff, bro. Shit, I know you seen the All-Star game, right? The NBA All-Star game. I think we spoke about that last episode.
Yep.
One of them things that came out of that weekend, other than Macy Gray singing the national anthem. I feel like the NBA was reaching with Macy Gray singing the national anthem. Like, how hard are you trying to get a viral national anthem moment after fucking Fergie, right? Like, Macy Gray? I don't know, bro.
Well, I think is she from Ohio or something?
Possibly. She could be, but I'm like, shit, we could have Kid Cudi from fucking Ohio. Like, if we gonna go that route, like, let's get crazy. Like, come on. But fucking LeBron did a lot of interviews that weekend because obviously he's from Cleveland. And he had a pretty good weekend, hit the game winner. Said something to, I believe it was People, one of the publications, about how he wants to finish out his career. His last act, he wanted to be playing with his son Bronny, which, you know, it was a big statement. You know what I'm saying? His son is 17-year-old right now. I believe he plays for Sierra Canyon. And he's gonna graduate in 2023, which would be next year. Like, which I feel was actually a fire move on LeBron's part. And also a whack move. Like, very fire, because whether his son is good or not, he kind of guaranteed he's gonna get drafted. You know what I'm saying? Somebody would do it just for the promo of the LeBron retirement tour. But I think it's kind of whack because I'm like, does your son want to play with you, or does your son, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, does your son not want his NBA rookie season to kind of be like, yo, his own thing, or is he hurting his son by not letting him go to college? Really, you know what I'm saying? Experience those years in college, I guess, by putting the pressure on him. Like, yo, I only got but so many years in the league. I want to, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, what do you think about that whole concept of LeBron wanting to finish out his career playing with his son?
I think it's really cool. Since LeBron is like so smart, is like probably one of the smartest dudes, full stop, I've ever seen on TV, like in the public light.
Yeah,
and very methodical and very calculated, right? Like up there with like Jay-Z. When you look at these cats and how they move, like they're super just smart. So I think everyone on one part they feel like is strategic, but then again, he's a dad. Like, how cool would that be? Like, you get to you get to work with your son. You make it a family business. Like, how cool is that? Like, this type of feeling goes to even you look at them coal miners. Like, man, I want my son to work with me. I'm gonna make sure this is the family business. My daddy did it. I mean, this is not the case with LeBron, but it's like, I did it. I want my son to do it, and not only do I want him to do it, I want to be there with him doing it. Like, I'll be at the end of my career. He'll be at the beginning, and we'll just be doing it together. And I feel like there's that part of it. And I know he loves his family. He's a family man. So I also want to believe that, well, yeah, he just kind of said it. That would be really cool. But I'll tell you this, man, like, whether it was by design or not, this shit brought a lot of visibility to a lot of people talking about Bronny James' son, in professional terms, breaking down his game and all that type of stuff, bringing up his ranking. I had no idea how high of a recruit he is. He's in the 30s, I think, right now, amongst high school players.
Okay.
But I don't even think he's a senior yet, right, in high school, or is he a senior now?
2023. He would be, if he's graduating in 23, then yeah, he'd be a senior. No, because that would be later this year.
He's a junior
next year.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, so 30-something's not bad. He's not even in his senior year yet. But, they're evaluating him. He's going to fill out and da-da-da. We don't even know if he wants to go to school for 2 years and not just like a one and done.
Yeah.
So it's, I feel like it's scary, man. I wish that he could continue just being a kid. At the same time, I'm sure he's looking forward to a career in basketball, whatever that looks like. All right, whether it's on the court, off the court, whether it's in the United States, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's that aspect of, you mentioned it, like, now your career is going to be tied to your dad's career. And that's tough when you talk about your dad's one of the greatest ball players ever. Right? Like, that's difficult. Is there anyone else? Is there any, like, greats, like, let's say anyone from the top 10 where their kid is playing right now? Just off the top of my head, I can't think.
I don't know what Gary Payton is ranked in your book, but his son's playing for Golden State right now.
He's not. He's not top 10 in anyone's book. Might not be top 20. It is what it is. Like, Gary Payton was good.
Yeah.
Listen, like, it's
niggas, he ain't even top 10 in Gary Payton's book.
like, that's not even no shade. Like, I think he was a top 75 player, Gary Payton Sr., but he's not top 10. I don't even think he's top 20. Like, I don't think he's a top 10 guard. So, and Gary Payton was nice. Like, he was nasty. And he one of the 75 greatest players to ever play the game. But yet he's not in the top 10. So, like, his son could just do his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. The pressure's not on him as if his last name was Jordan, or as if his last name was O'Neal, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Bryant, that type of shit. Yeah, so, like, but LeBron's son is going to come in, and it's like, oh, okay, let's see what he does. Let's see. You know what I mean? It was kind of like the closer thing, and obviously this is way on the other end of the spectrum, but the pressure that LeVar Ball put on Lonzo Ball when he first came to the league, right? LaMelo kind of actually was able to kind of come under the radar a little bit because the LeVar Ball hype had already faded out. But when Lonzo had started, it was like motherfucking Patrick Beverly's like slapping the floor to defend Lonzo Ball. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yeah, like, what's happening here? But it's just because they just want to prove a point. And like Bronny might get that smoke, I guess, depending on just where the league is at and what his skill level is.
Right.
In other basketball news, man, I know you've seen it. It was funny. I was at Specs' crib. We was chilling, just watching college basketball, and we saw the highlights of Jawan Howard slapping one of the assistant coaches, I believe from Wisconsin, after like during one of those like post game handshake things, right? Which I think a lot, like, they should get rid of that shit, right? Like, why is motherfucker shaking hands after games? You ever notice, like, LeBron loses, he just walks right off. He don't shake nobody's hand unless it was, like, one of his, like, close friends in the league. And I don't mean, he, like, now he played with Carmelo, so who's he really stopping like that for? But, he might do it for, like, Tristan Thompson or something like that.
That's because they professional, man. I feel as if in college, to some extent, sometimes tradition's important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know there's the argument of, well, you know, why do we do this thing? Well, the ultimate lesson when you're trying to mold boys into men, it's this is one of those things, like, be gracious even in defeat and just go back to the lab, work harder, come back and know that this person better watch out for you the next time. That loss, hopefully, was a one-time thing. And everybody should be thinking that way. But so I think that should remain, and to see the coach got to lead the way. So yes, this slap / face grab, like he slapped him, tried to follow through with by palming homie's face, and then like face offing homie, like straight up John Travolta that dude, Nick Cage that dude's face. Like, it was crazy. It was funny because it's like when you're so mad you're not sure what to do. Like, you're like, all right, I'm gonna slap him. Well, you know what? I should really grab his face. Maybe I should make a fist, but my palm is already over this dude's face. I don't know what the dude said. That's one of them joints where it's like, whether or not the dude said the N-word, dude's like, yo, man, that dude, he crossed the line, man. He said either the N-word or he said something about my wife.
Miles
you just
Garrett,
gotta say to justify what you did.
Remember when Miles Garrett went crazy with the helmet, smacking the nigga over the head on the Browns or whatever? He was the quarterback on the Chiefs. Oh no, sorry, on the Steelers. Yeah, that's what you got to go with, the N-word excuse, bro. You can't. It never fails, bro. Never fails.
Yeah, man. But Juwan Howard's a coach, man. I don't know.
Nah, but he did suffer the consequences, man. He did get suspended for the remaining 5 games and fined $40,000. There were 2 players on his team that were also suspended for 1 game each, and Wisconsin's head coach was fined $10,000, which is crazy because he grabbed him first. Like, he kind of started, like, no, he didn't start it, but like, he did some funny shit. Like, he called timeout with like 15 seconds left to get his benching. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, it was, come on, let's get out of here. Like, why that started that type of crazy shit was, you know, I'm sure there was some other shit involved there. There's probably some other funny shit going on during the game, but yeah, Juwan, you can't act like that as a coach, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
like,
you can't, no matter what the dude do.
Yeah, because we always knew Juwan Howard had a hot temper as a player in Michigan, as a player in the pros. He was an enforcer. You know what I'm saying? But come on, you a coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. Come on. Like, it's there's a level. You have a level of aggression, and you can fight for your team. You can defend your team. But yeah, come on. Now you're sending the wrong message, and it started a brawl. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, maybe if it was just an isolated incident, you hit him, and then people broke y'all up, but then your players started fighting. So it's like, come on, like, there's a way to go about it, and I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the hood, you're gonna handle things a certain type of way, but it's like at this point, at this level of your career, you gotta turn it down just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not the way to handle things no more, I guess. Now you gotta file complaints and do it in the press conference, I guess.
Yeah.
Keith, it's time for one of my favorite parts of this show, man, and it is called Have You Heard?
Keep connected.
I got a question. Now the question I ask you is, how bad you want to know? Black.
I hear headlines and I bring them to the table and I see if my dog Keith has heard, and a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks, brother. First up, your boy Trump started a social media app, and that shit is what's up.
I heard he put in months ago. I heard like he was, I don't know, put file for something or something to that effect. Like, pretty much saying, yo, this thing is coming, y'all. Y'all better watch out. I'm about to burn the streets up with this. But I didn't know it actually launched. It's whack.
So it has launched. It's called the Truth Social app, and is what's known as a soft launch. Basically, like, yo, it's in the app store, it's available, but you're basically put on a wait list. But what's happened is a lot of those people that were put on a wait list have either not moved up any further on the wait list or have actually moved further back on the waiting list. So a lot of people haven't even had their chance to even try it out yet. Trump himself has made one kind of like ominous, like, yo, get ready for what's coming type of post on it, but he's not posting on it really. And they're having technical difficulties. I think it crashed on the first day. It's not what he thought it would be, and he's kind of upset about it. And so, like, he's been heard to be reacting like, why isn't this popping? Why hasn't this taken over yet? You know what I mean? Because his expectations of it was pretty high. But just, what do you think about the whole concept? Like, you like basically making an echo chamber, you for people that are Trump supporters or with him. And then from what I've heard, like how they have the TOS, the terms of service. Basically, he's fronting as if it's a free speech type of thing, but if you speak out against Trump, I believe you could be taken off of there.
Yeah, I mean, this has a lot of potential. I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And probably when he first announced it, I did not think, I was like, man, how you going to compete with Twitter and whoever? But I realized, like, you don't have to, you'll be competing with them, but you don't have to compete with them at their own game. If you make a niche product with like somebody who fills seats like Trump does,
mm-hmm.
that has the potential to be huge. Like, it would be small, but the engagement could potentially be so high. As soon as he posts something, you have to pay attention to it, right? It's going to be in mainstream media. Mainstream media is going to put reporters, like assign reporters to sign up for the app, be on the app, monitor what he says. So I think that alone, like, as long as you have something solid that like it actually works, you posting stuff that has some kind of reputability,
mm-hmm.
that could do well. It reminds me of the Kanye thing, that goofy STEM player that he has. He's putting his album exclusively on it, and then he's gonna be updating the album and improving it as it goes along. Like that, it's whack. You know what I'm saying? I don't know another word for it. However, people are gonna buy it because they're like, yo, I want to hear Kanye's album, and it's only, there's only $100, something like $150, $200 for the device, and it comes with the album on it. That ain't a bad deal, and there'll be other content to put on this thing. So essentially, you making a platform. You could put your own work on it. You're making money off the platform, and your work happens to, you put it, you throw it in there. So essentially, Trump will be building a platform and putting his work on there. Oh, and other people. There's other reasons for it, and then comes the advertising dollars and all that. So we'll see how it goes. I think he'll, if he executes it right and is focused. I think that's the problem. He's not focused. Like, he's weird and has these vendettas and stuff. If he's serious about the business part of it, I think it'll actually do well for him.
Yeah. It comes. Yeah. It's like you said. You don't have to dominate the market like that. It's like I think we like. My first experience with this was like when we first started listening to like rappers like Wiz Khalifa and Currency, and like none of my other friends listened to them. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, but these guys were like, they had a huge following. They had millions of followers. They had like millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And it was like how? You know what I'm saying? But it's like these YouTube influencers, like you never heard of them, but they just got that small following. And Trump sees that and he doesn't need that. He's like, yo, I'll take that little chunk of the market. If you take a piece of, you know what I'm saying, TikTok, you take a piece of Instagram, you take a piece of Twitter, like it's such a big pie. You happy with that?
Yeah, man, these dudes who's like running in rap, you mentioned rap, like dudes who's running certain regions, these dudes was rich before they hit the mainstream. Like, I mean, when they hit the mainstream and got just, it was another level, but like the UGK and these cats, like they were rich before we knew about them.
Keith, have you noticed a lot of the mask mandates around the nation have come to an end? How do you feel about them?
I'll be honest, man. I felt like it has to end at some point, right? So, and I think that point is coming soon, whether it's now or in the very near future. There's still like a lot of mask optional stuff. Like they're slowly winding back on it. So like your doctor's office, you still got to wear a mask, and maybe I think the post office and stuff like that. But I see like New York City just peeled back the vaccine mandate for restaurants.
Yeah, I seen that.
And the mask mandate in many settings. A lot of school systems, including a lot of school systems in New Jersey, they're peeling that back.
My daughter's school
How do I feel
this week, they stopped wearing them a couple days ago.
Yeah, the school system here is starting on Monday. It will be mask optional.
I was funny because I was like, yo, you can still wear it. I was like, just because nobody wearing it, you can still, you know what I'm saying? Don't, you know what I mean? Like, and she had like a little sniffle, like cough this week. So I'm like, yo, you know, just not a problem to put it on. Man, she didn't wear that shit. Once all them other kids took it off, man, I seen her at the end of the day. I'm like, where your mask? She's like, oh, we don't do that no more.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to be the one kid. I don't want to be the one person in the supermarket doing it. I have done it a little bit this week. And I have been like one of the few people doing it, and I'll be like the one person in there doing it. And I'm like, I don't need this shit. I'm boosted.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, at the end of the day, we say follow the people have been saying we follow the scientists and we do what the scientists say, but we're still people. So to some extent, politics matters more, right, than just pure science and pure health. And they said, all right, get the vaccine, you'll be all right. Wear a mask for a while, you'll be all right. All right, it's been a while. The vaccine levels are high. Infection levels and hospitalization levels are real low. So it's like, listen, when? And I guess they say, you know what? How about now? And it makes sense.
Bow. Right now, nigga.
Yeah.
Word up. I don't know, but I would it's kind of like, well, we wasn't ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, yo, for real? Because I feel like COVID's over, right? And I guess COVID was such a big thing in the media. And I don't mean like to belittle it in no type of way, but it's like it was such a big thing in the media that now you're like, yo, what happened? Like, what I haven't heard about it in about a week and a half. Like, why y'all stop talking about this shit? So it's like, yeah, but it I don't want to get comfortable, and I'm definitely in the back of my mind like, yo, them mask mandates might be back. That might be a fall thing. You know what I'm saying? That might be something that we do every now and again.
We got to continue to test, continue to vaccinate and boost and all that type of stuff. That stuff is important. So I think that I say the one not good thing about it is that because of this, the mask thing was like an emblem, like a reminder that, listen, COVID's still a thing, and we don't quite have it under optimal control. Like, it's probably going to be here for the rest of our lives, but yet we don't have it under the type of control where we feel like we could just go all out, live completely, totally free. We still got to take some type of measures, continue to test, continue to vaccinate, but we're at a point where it's like the chances of you catching it are lower, and if you catch it, the chances of something terrible happening are much lower than it was before. And also, we have treatments coming out, so if you catch it, we can treat it.
Yeah, that's kind of hopeful, right? Like I like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a little. I don't think so I heard somebody say, "Yo, now that they got a treatment, are you still going to get vaccinated?" And it's like, It's like, yeah, interesting, right? If you could just go and get the pill, if you get it, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to still get this vaccine? It might be like the flu. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm gonna do all that, but yeah, it's weird though, because like I feel more capable of being like, if show is like, yo, I'm doing a party, I'm doing an event, like I feel a lot more confident about going, knowing that I'm boosted and knowing, you know what I mean, that I am vaccinated. So I don't know if that little like mental hurdle will be something easy to get over. It might just be like, nah, just give me the vaccine and I know I can go on a plane. I know I could go, you know what I mean? I know I can go on vacation and not feel crazy and not be paranoid the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, getting back to life is really important. Like, it's just important. But I mean, aside from the economic stuff, which matters, aside from the whatever stuff, like, it's just people being people is necessary. I read an article from this dude from The Ringer, and he has, I guess this is considered terminal cancer. He's not to the point of like near death yet, but he's like, I don't know. My days are numbered. I just don't know. It's not so bad where it's like, well, in the next month, but it's not so good where it's like, oh yeah, they just don't know.
Not playing, and he said, shit, yeah.
You know, right. And he's like, people's like, yo, because of your condition, do you have to be extra diligent and lock yourself in a bubble? He said, I feel quite the opposite. Like, I have to go out and do shit because I just don't know how much opportunities I have left to do stuff.
Damn, that's an interesting take on things, man. Keith, have you heard Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford to pay hospital bills of a photographer who fell off the stage at the Super Bowl parade?
Yeah, I heard him and the team are paying for it.
Has the team paid for it? I know him and his wife were going to pay for it at first, so maybe the team decided to throw a little bit more on, because I believe she hurt her spine, if I'm not mistaken. That lady fell off the stage. But did you feel it was fair? Because I think what happened was he caught a lot of backlash because he's on the video where she goes viral, and the reason it went viral because of his reaction. It kind of looks like, all right, I'm not dealing with that. But from what I hear, he actually went and asked for help. It just looks bad because he took a long sip of water. So I think he's going to ask for help. But it's like, I think he felt some of the pressure from some of the backlash from that, like his reaction to that put pressure on him. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you think that's noble of him? You think he did it like because just to get the heat off of him? Or I mean, he doesn't.
No, of course he did it to get the heat off of him. He didn't have to, but I think it's noble. I think he probably felt bad and he could afford it, so why not? His face reminded me. You remember the "Do It Again" video when Jay-Z didn't have to go? Oh, he goes through the metal detector and it goes off. But since he's VIP, they don't do nothing to him. But then there's that other dude on the floor who they got in the fucking restraint because his shit went off. Like he went off through the metal detector, and Jay-Z looks at him like, "Oh," and that's the face that Matthew Stafford had. Like it was like, "Ooh." Wow, like you can't believe what you're looking at.
When you said Jay-Z,
yeah,
I thought you were going to reference the H to the Izzo video where the chick drops the Cristal bottle. Jay-Z makes a face like, oh shit, guess we got to get her off
that face too. That face too.
Nah, it's bad, but you're on video at all times, so it's like. I seen a kid, right? Matter of fact, confession. I seen when it was really snowy. I saw like we were going to school, walking my daughter's school bus, and one of the other kids that was walking the same school bus. I saw her coming out her crib, but her parents hadn't shoveled the snow yet or nothing like that. So she literally busted her ass down some steps, and then had to get up and like walk it off as if nobody seen it. And it's like I know I'm grown because I didn't laugh. I was like, ooh, shit. I was like, like I was like, I even hit her with a "you all right?" You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like, cause I'm just where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? I know a fall is like, if I fall, I'm like, oh shit, did anything serious get injured? And then it's like, all right, nothing serious injured. Now I can feel the pain of embarrassment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that now. So now my mind is different. Whereas opposed to, you know, if I was a teenager, if I was in my 20s, I saw somebody fall, you know what I mean? You letting out a chuckle. You letting out a laugh.
Yeah.
So I think Matthew Stafford, but I don't think that's what he's doing. I think he's literally like, yo, did she just back off? Like, did that shit really just happen? And it was like, yo, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn. But it looks bad because his wife went towards it and he goes the opposite direction. But that's still stand up with him to, you know what I'm saying, make that payment, man. Shout out Matthew Stafford. Keith, this is an interesting one, man. Have you heard singer Smokey Robinson does not like the term African American? This was something that I saw come up. He did an interview with The View, and he wrote a poem actually a few years ago, just speaking about the word black. It was kind of an ode to the word black and how it's been taken away from us. And you know, long story short, he said he just kind of resents the term African American. It feels like it makes us as a lesser American. I believe his quote was, "I resent being called African American because black people have contributed so much to the development of the United States of America." He also went on to say that, you know, like people that have fought wars, black people who fought wars for this country have fought wars for America. They didn't do so for Timbuktu or Kenya. They spilled blood for Louisiana, Georgia, and Alabama. And he feels, you know, like their actions and their contributions should be recognized. And it's weird because I never really, you know, African American always seemed kind of proper to me, right? And it always seemed good. I never really heard it weaponized until a few maybe months ago when Mitch McConnell used the term and saying that African Americans vote at the same rate as, you know, regular Americans. So it like, I don't know, is how you feel about that term? Like, and how you like, are you offended by the term African American? You think it's something that we should go back to the term black, or is it just?
I'm not offended by it, but I think so I work for a global company, and I work, like, my job requires me to engage with people from other countries, including black people, and my family and in-laws are all not, both my family and my wife's family are our lineage goes down from other countries down in the Caribbean, and our families are black.
Okay.
So it was to say African American doesn't totally, for me, doesn't. It feels like it excludes the parts of blackness that wasn't like involved with American or slavery or, you know, stuff like that. Like at least my family can't connect with the struggles, the American struggles of the 70s and 60s, right? Where people their age who were born and raised in America, they can. So when I think about just this term African American, it lacks the globalness of the black experience and the black diaspora So do I resent the term? No, because I understand what it means and I understand, what it evolved from.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think in trying to correct it, we kind of don't acknowledge enough blackness, and maybe that's not a issue for most people, most black people in America, because most of them are of American heritage. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's something very interesting. I thought I wanted to bring it up to you because it's like I never really thought about it, but yeah, like it's like you do kind of because I guess my parents are from Grenada, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, am I Grenadian American? Am I African American? I'm sure I have ties to Africa if we go back far enough, but like within the past 2 generations, it's like my ties to closer to Grenada than they are to Africa, which are 2 different parts of the world. So yeah, it's definitely something interesting that yeah, I came across and I was like, yo, I got to bring that to the podcast. See how my man Keith feels about that. I know we're getting tight on time, Keith, so I just want to get your reaction on one last thing, man. Have you heard, not only was Jay-Z involved in the deal that purchased Mitchell and Ness, along with, Meek Mill, Maverick Carter, and Fanatics owner, I forgot his name, but definitely they purchased Mitchell and Ness, and Jay-Z became one of the minority owners in that. Not only was he on part of that deal, but he actually topped the highest paid hip-hop list for 2021 by earning $470 million and edging out number 2 Kanye, number 3 Diddy, number 4 Drake, and number 5 Wiz Khalifa.
Wow, Wiz Khalifa's number 5. That's crazy,
45
man.
million, bro. 45 million in 2000. I haven't not heard of Wiz. When's the last time you heard a Wiz Khalifa song on the radio?
Man, that's phenomenal. Oh, is it because it's cannabis stuff?
I would have to imagine it has to be a huge. He always made a lot of money off of merch, but I would have to imagine having his own strain of weed. And maybe he's making money on the back end with that. But yeah, I seen he beat Travis Scott, and he's right behind Drake. I'm like, Wiz Khalifa. First of all, this whole list kind of looks like it's from 2016, like 2015. Like, is Jay-Z, Kanye West, Diddy, Drake, Wiz Khalifa, Travis Scott, Khaled, Eminem, J. Cole, Birdman tied for number 10, bro. And fucking but Doja Cat and Tech 9. Like, Doja Cat's the only new name really in there.
Doja Cat, that's a surprise to me. I know she has a hit radio, but a hit radio doesn't always equate to being one of the top earners.
Yeah, she writes her own music too, I believe.
Okay, I think the story you led with the whole Jay-Z and all that shit doesn't surprise me. To me, he's a venture capitalist now. He's the truest form of a businessman at this point, more than he is a rapper. Like,
True.
rapping is just, I call it liquor and weed money. He probably doesn't partake, but like, as far as like, this is what I put on the side for partying. You know what I'm saying? The other shit, like, that's my real thing. And but the big story is that Wiz Khalifa's number 5. And he's ahead of Travis Scott. Like, that is big to me. I'm not surprised by Kanye West. I'll probably say I'm surprised that he's not number 1. But and Pharrell, you said, is Pharrell on that list?
No, Pharrell did not make the top 10. I mean, he's on shows on the list, like, he didn't make the top 10.
He didn't make the top 10. So Doja Cat's in the top 10. Wiz Khalifa's number 5. Like, that's crazy to me. That's the story. So no, I have not heard that.
Yo, bro, I'm a Wiz Khalifa fan from way back, bro, and I just downloaded his new album with Juicy J. But I'm like, to me, I'm thinking like this is like we were saying earlier, like a niche market. Like, I'm listening to this. I'm not thinking that, and maybe not. Maybe a lot of people aren't listening to it, but he's making 45 in 2021 in pandemic. Like, I'm like here scratching like my head. Like, I'm gonna get back to y'all because, like I said, we tight on time. But I'm gonna get back to y'all on where the hell Wiz Khalifa's money coming from. I have to believe it has to be a ton of like weed money, bro. I can't imagine like what else it's coming from. Which is dope because he actually made his name off of rapping about weed. And now he's actually legally selling it. So I think that's the beautiful story right there, man. And that's where we have to end this episode today, Keith. Always a pleasure doing an episode with you, brother. Where can people find you at on social media, man?
Instagram, ema_35.
Nice. You can find your boy DJ Playboy on Instagram at PLICCAPEEZY, PLICCAPEEZY. You can also follow Perfect Talk Podcast on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. Also check me out on Twitter, man, at DJ Playboy right there on Twitter. Every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast is available on our website, perfecttalkpodcast.com, along with my radio show, The Night Shift, which we're getting right back to it into 2022. And also my radio show that I do with my brother DJ Show, Money Talks Radio. So check that out. Every every episode of Perfect Talk Podcast. Also available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, and wherever you find your favorite podcast. So leave a rating, leave a review. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what we could change, and we're gonna keep doing this thing for y'all, man. Keith, I usually around this time ask you what you are watching on television, but I want to know, what is your opinion of the Kanye documentary? I believe it's called Genius, right? So far.
Well, all 3 episodes have aired on Netflix. I know a bunch of people have seen it at the what was that Film Fest, the Sun, whatever the shit is.
Sundance.
Sundance, yeah. I think it was fire. It was fire. I wonder, people, like, if you don't know who Kanye West is, or maybe you only know like the past 10 years of his career versus the first 10 years, or the first 15 years or whatever it is, like what they feel about it. Like for me, it was as if someone like, well, firstly, it was like a Through the Wire documentary. Like it was made to last, like maybe go through like the first 5 to 10 years of his career, but it ended up, I guess the footage just ended up sitting there, and like the dude said, all right, maybe it's ready now, and that's what he did. So that's what it felt like. Like if this was the documentary I wanted to see in 2008, and then the episode 3 might be like an epilogue to it. Like, hey guys, let me update you on this. But nah, they released it all at the same time. So now it's real cool because now it's footage from back then, but now looked at through the lens of the present. And I could tell that the filmmaker did it like that. Cootie and Chike. Those dudes.
They produced
they
directed the Through the Wire video, if I'm not mistaken, right?
They did it Through the Wire. So a lot of the footage, all the footage there was from them.
Okay.
Like the joint with the lady, like they showed the actual. That's why, like, if you were around, if you're a millennial and you're a Kanye fan, like they had the lady in the chicken spot who was dancing. Like, oh, the video's coming out. Like, cats probably thought it was just some random clip. Like, nah, they was really in there, and like Kanye was like, yo, I'm gonna be a big deal. And she's like, oh, word, yeah, and like humoring him. And she's like, can I hold $5? Like that was cool.
That's like without an arm I spit. Without an arm I spit.
They showed that. They showed they showed the whole thing without an arm I spit, but like not just that part. Like they showed the whole car ride and all that shit, talking to D-Ray about what the whole shit is gonna be. So I think that it was just cool. You know what it's like? Like you probably remember your first birthday party, and probably in bits and pieces, probably some dance contest and like some legendary musical chairs thing. But then if you got right now to look at the tape of your parents planning it and how you reacted to certain shit and your disappointments from that day and how impatient you were getting shopping the day before because they had you in the shopping cart and you're like, I want cereal. Like, no, we got to buy all this like chicken and seasoning and shit. You freaking the fuck out. And you looking at that shit and be like, wow. That's how it felt. It felt like, wow, like Kanye meant everything to me at the time. So to see the behind the scenes shit, it was crazy with a little touch of shit that means something present day. So for instance, they had R. Kelly did an interview back then because I can't remember which of the trials he went through back then, but like, but basically them looking at it while playing pool. But this is like in 2002 or 3 or something like that.
Okay,
and I could tell he put a little extra, like a 1 or 2 extra seconds on that, and just let that clip breathe a little bit, just because what it means. So it means so much right now. Or they just had Beyonce. Beyonce was just hanging. I forgot. I forgot what was the big tour when Kanye's Chaining Day. I forgot what tour they were on, but basically the camera was just.
Album, I think.
Was it before the Black Album? Whatever album that was. I think it might have been for the Blueprint 2, and maybe that was before the Black. I can't remember what it was, but basically they were just going through the hallway, man. Famous people, they're just chilling. But when we talk about famous people in anything, it's not just those super famous people. Like, you know, at that time, let's say Jay-Z and Eminem was in the hallway. But then you'll also have like random people, like the Chameleon might be just in there because like he's famous, but maybe he's not quite Jay-Z. So they just had Beyonce just there in jeans and a tank top. Like it was just like Beyonce was Beyonce, but Beyonce wasn't Beyonce. She wasn't B.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was crazy to just see her there, just standing amongst common folks, just you could look at her and see she's soaking in all the star power. Like, wow, oh, look over there. I can't remember who was there. I'm just name random. Like, oh, Diddy's, oh, shit. Oh, Tweet is just hanging out over there. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? So
and that was such a
cool
pivotal time in like our hip hop passion. Like we went to Kanye concerts back then. Like I remember going to your campus to see Kanye perform. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we actually like have such a close connection to that time because that. I don't know. It's like our formidable years, right? Like this, I've actually separate my music memory to like what level of school I was in at the time, and Kanye falls into that college years where they were incredible years. You know what I'm saying?
And he told our story like he was literally the soundtrack to our days. Like, you know, if my manager insults me again, 'cause I was terrible at my jobs back then, but I had to work for some cash to cop academics hoodies. And when he say, "Yo, if my manager insults me again, I will be assaulting him after I fuck the manager up." Like this is shit that maybe I didn't do, but it was like, yo, you dreamed of this shit. But man, this nigga tell me one more time that I'm just a late goofball. I'm a slap him, and then, you know, I'm gonna just raid the register. That's what I'm gonna do. And he sang that shit. But so that's the first two episodes. That's the feeling. But then the last episode is about current day Kanye, and the contrast of like a lot of the craziness you see now was there before. Like you saw like, but it wasn't like it was. Now it's out of control. And then just, you know, they go through the death of his mom and shit like that. And if you're a Kanye fan, or if you were at any point in your life a Kanye fan, this documentary, like, it touches you in a certain way. And I don't know if I would recommend it to somebody who doesn't know Kanye, because I don't know if it's good through that lens. I just know it hit me hard. I love the documentary.
No. I myself have not checked it out yet, but I was like, I definitely got to talk to Keith about this because I know you probably share the exact, you know what I'm saying, sentiments that I'll have for it. Like, so definitely based off your recommendation, man, I'm gonna check it out. You know something interesting too from that? Like, even before this documentary dropped, I heard D-Ray was tight because he's like, yo, Kanye didn't give him the like the credit on the album for the Bernie Mac impersonations. And he's like, yo, that would have
crazy.
That would have took my career to another place. Like, I believe now he might on Spotify or maybe Tidal, they might actually say featuring D-Ray, but I don't think it's on all platforms. And I can totally understand. I can understand why he's tight.
I mean, that wasn't uncommon though back then. Tons of comedians was. I don't remember. Like, I guess you have to be humongous to get that credit. I guess maybe because Chi-Town love, Kanye could have thrown him some love, but at the time, just off of memory, and I don't know if this is true, I would have to research it, but like only like a Chris Rock might get mentioned if he did a skit on somebody's album. But like mad, you know, Cat Williams might have came through and lent his voice to something. Nobody says, "Oh, well, look, this is the Cat Williams joint."
Idris Elba did he did the American Gangster intro, and I didn't realize it until like years later when it got on streaming. It says featuring Idris Elba, but when I heard it, I didn't know at the time, and I don't believe the CD said it on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, you might not get your credit, but it's I don't think that's not on Kanye. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure he has a lot of pull and stuff like that, but he was under Def Jam. He was on the Rockefeller. He's just trying to get shit out.
I would say one last thing about this. The one thing that threw me off was that this is supposed to be a Kanye. Well, firstly, I didn't watch the documentary at first because I thought it was just going to be some tabloidy Kardashian type. But then I realized like this is actually his man's, and it was like actual footage from back then. So I watched it. But then like the director Cootie, he put himself in it a lot. But at the end of it, I see why, because like he needs to tie the story, and I feel like he's the glue to the story through all these years. Because this is all just clips. He's not interviewing nobody, like saying, "Oh, what do you think about Kanye back then?" Nah, it's just straight up clips, and he's narrating it. So I see why he did it, and looking back, and to me, it makes him more powerful. Like, look, the reason I'm putting this shit out, that was my man's. Like that, the whole purpose of me being in the room, like that was my man's, and this is what he meant to my life, and like paralleling his life. There's not too much of him, but every now and then he would check in, like, this is the point of life I was at. This is what Kanye was doing. He hit me up, and this is where, you know.
Are they still
when
cool?
I went there, this is where I was coming from. I guess so. He was in Wyoming. He invited him to Wyoming, so I guess cool is relative, right? Because, like, Rhyme Fest is in the video in the joint, but I remember, within the last 5 years, Rhymefest saying Kanye's wilding out there, but I think Kanye knows that he's wilding. He doesn't get offended when some of his friends say he's wilding. I guess except a few. He didn't say.
Depends on the friend, it depends what he did for them.
I guess it depends on the friend. He might still be friends with John Legend, but he said John Legend, in effect, he said John Legend's out there cooning. He said crazy shit about Big Sean like the day after he saw him. He goes, But yeah, just watch it, man. We could have did a whole podcast on that. On the motherfucking Kanye.
Yeah, definitely thank you for your outlook on that, man. And I was looking it up. It looks like Wiz Khalifa makes a lot of money off of YouTube, bro. Like, so I'm imagining a lot off of merch and a lot off of YouTube. But that's shout out to Wiz, shout out to Kanye, shout out to everybody out there doing it big, man. I usually say, wear your mask and be nice, but you ain't gotta wear them no more. So just stay safe, protect yourself, do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? And if you feel sick, stay your ass home. Keith, say goodbye to the people, brother.
Peace.
Peace.